guys. How you doing? No, I like doing the waves sometimes. Sometimes I just stand at my window and wave at random cars. They gotta think I'm nuts. But it is a busy route. So hopefully they don't even see. But anyways, calm after the storm today. Hope everybody had a super great holiday. I have to say it was very peaceful not to have to worry about the gift buying this year. My family, I don't know, this was something I started trying a couple years ago. Everybody had to buy everybody so many presents and spend so much time on the presents. Even when my kids were little, there was so much time spent on opening all these presents that nobody ever, sat and visited and spoke to each other. So a couple years ago, I tried doing like that Secret Santa thing. I never thought it would take off with my family because so traditional. I don't know. But anyways, it was wonderful yesterday. My pipes were frozen, so I had no water. But I used spring water to cook a dinner. I had peace. And to be honest with you, the peace and contentment is the best gift I ever could have got in my life. And to me, that was the gift that was given to me by God for sure. Because I finally surrendered. I didn't expect to share that right now, but maybe it will help somebody. And just to what I mean about surrender is, okay, say if you're familiar with the AA program, the step one is to admit you were powerless, and I can't think of the exact thing right now, but to let go and let God, simply let go. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. And then when I realized that because I wasn't doing that, all the setbacks I had, I used to always say I had bad luck, and it wasn't. It was what you think about, you bring about. You know what I mean? So, wow. Okay, well, guys, anyways, I did realize that all that was holding me back, and letting go and not worrying as much was the hardest thing. But I just kept training my mind to, every time I got a negative thought, which was constant, I would be like, am I really this negative person? I don't want to be this negative person. So when you even come up with a thought that's different than what you're thinking, it'll take you out of your mind. But it takes work. It's like training your mind from 30 years of abuse, lies, addiction, stealing, to every one of those thoughts, that your self-worth, that you weren't good enough. You once you start changing those thoughts with self-love, which was also hard for me to do. I felt selfish. This was supposed to be a tarot reading, but I think I'm just gonna make this little video. I thought that I was being selfish for loving myself. I never bought myself anything. I gave to so many other people. I wanted to do this, okay? But then I got bitter because you notice when you're not getting it back, or that people are just keep taking from you. And I don't know. If you're not wired that way, it comes off as, what the heck is going on here? I'm giving. But you got to remember, sometimes, you can't make people do what you want them to do. And I didn't really want it back. I didn't really expect it back. But what I'm trying to say is, I didn't get any help where I should have. Teamwork in this marriage at all. So it was me working alone and therefore working against the person's decisions, which caused a huge conundrum and a trickle effect, and it just never stopped. It never got better. I tried and tried and tried, and then I couldn't forgive myself for how long I tried and tried and tried. The bottom line moral to this story is the majority of the people out there were already practicing this self-love, and I'm coming in and I'm going, oh my God, I just learned that if you let go, you'll this and this, and even my daughter, she's 34, and she's I already knew that. I didn't, because I was in a narcissistic relationship, and I'm not making excuses, but you think you're doing what you're supposed to do as a wife, but the whole time you got your partner working against you. Okay? I'm not mad at myself for overstaying now, because every lesson is what I feel like now, what I'm trying to do here, with not even with the tarot so much as just using my voice. I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even express. I was so codependent or so stuck in this paradigm. Oh my God, I'm going off on a tangent. But anyways, I got peace this year, just this past year, and a lot of it had to do with me realizing that my self-worth, and then doing the work to match what I thought was my self-worth, if that makes any sense. Doing the healing work that I buried for 30 years. Buried every emotion with some kind of substance or materialistic thing, something, just so I didn't have to deal with the emotions. And it's hard to do, but when you do, with an open mind, because if you're not accepting criticism from and criticism I always thought was like a horrible word. If there's something called constructive criticism, and if it's coming to you, you might not want to hear it when you're in that state of non-healing or anything. You might not want to hear nothing. But just know that down the line, you're going to hear those words come back up. Well, for me, it did. All those years in those programs that I always said, oh, they don't work. All those things ended up helping me. All those abuse. Oh my God. All those days of physical and mental abuse. Almost every day of, I'd say for at least 20 years. Embarrassed to even admit that I, didn't see it and everybody else did. But again, codependency, no joke. You are living the other person's life. You are living the other person's life for them to make them happy, so that, there's no more fights, there's no more friction. But even that didn't work after a while, okay? So then you realize could be the other person that you're, who you're dealing with. It could be that you tried to change that person. You can never change anybody. You can help them to heal, but I learned that you cannot change people. People cannot make you upset. When I heard that, I didn't believe it either. People cannot make you angry. They can't. They can piss you off, but you could go, it's over in a second. And lately, that's what I've been able to do. There are some things I cannot transmute because it's family based, but one thing I did learn to do is block off the texts and the phone calls. It's ignorant, I thought, to do that, but no, I had to set a boundary. And the boundaries brought me peace. The boundaries brought me peace. This was a family dynamic that I was living for 40 years, not even just in my marriage, but in my actual family upbringing, dysfunctional. Then you start to look at the broader spectrum. Even the people that came into our family had these same issues. So we were attracting that same dynamic of either being with narcissistic people and overgiving and stuff like that. That's something that trickled down in my family with the women. I remember it even on my dad's and my mom's side. Okay, I am definitely going to stop here because this was supposed to be a tarot reading, and I ended up, honestly, guys, thank you for letting me vent, and I just hope that, I hate to sound preachy, okay, but these things helped. These things helped. I felt so dumb and naive. I held on to losing my house for 8 to 9 years after. I had such a resentment. I couldn't even move on and move forward in my life. So it's just stuff like that. If you hear ahead of time that you might be doing this to yourself, you know, letting people manipulate and control and stuff like that, just taking your power back, which is what most people in the world do. It's okay. It's okay to do that. Boundaries, setting with even my own mom. She, you know, some people, like I said, you can't change people who have been like that forever, but what I do on my part is what's helping me. You know, I'm not going to take that phone call right now, or I'm going to take a step back and breathe before I go and speak to that person, because before I would just pop off, and I'm known in my family to be the one to do that, but not always popping off in a bad way. I speak up, okay? My family would let people walk all over them and never say nothing. Never. I mean, just, I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. But what I can do is I can, you know, calm myself down before I go and speak to somebody. So, and I never really liked competitions or anything, but I'm going to end this by saying this is one thing that I do want to show them that they're wrong about. I can have a 3-hour conversation with somebody else, but not my family. And that, and what I started showing them was that we triggered each other. And then I honestly noticed my siblings kind of listening and taking the advice and we're all doing so much better. So you can't change people, but you can show them that you're doing better, and people just see it. That was a huge important lesson in that program I was in. If you would say sorry, they'd be like, don't say sorry, show your, something like that. But just showing people instead of trying to force it down their throat, it tends to work a lot better. And thank you for letting me share. I'll do a tarot reading now on the next video. Thank you for letting me vent this out. I didn't expect to do it, but I feel so much better, and I hope this really helps somebody. Go Dylan. All right, guys. Peace out.